Hari Om. Starting with invocation, let us chant from verses 46 to 50 of Atma Bodha. Pratah smarami hridi samspuradatmatattvam Sache sukham paramaham sagatim turiyam Yasvapna jagara sushuptamaveti nityam Tad brahma nishkalamaham nacha bhuta sankaha Tatvasvarupānubhavāt utpannam jnānamanjasā aham mameti chājñānam bādhate digbhramadivat samyak vijñānavān yogi Swatmanyevakilam jagat Ekam cha sarvamatmanam Ikshate jnana chakshusha Atmaivedam jagat sarvam Atmanonyanna vidyate mridho yadvad gadhatini swatmanam sarvamikshate Jivan muktastu tad vidvan Purvopadhigunansthyajet Satchidanandarupatvad Bhaved Brahmarakitavat Tirtva moharnavam hatva Ragadveshadhirakshasan Yogi Shanti Samayuktaha Atma Ramo Virajate
Om Pratasmarami Hridi Samspuradatmatattvam Satchit Sukham Paramaham Sagatim Turiyam Yat Swapna Jagara Sushuptamaveti Nityam Tad Brahma Nishkalamaham Nacha Bhuta Sangaha. We continue from verse number 47 onwards.
Samyak vijñānavan yogi Swatmanyevakilam jagat Ekam cha sarvamatmanam Ikshate jnana chakshusha Samyak vijñānavan yogi Swatmanyevakilam jagat Ekam cha sarvamatmanam Ikshate jnana chakshusha.
A sage of enlightenment sees with eye of wisdom the entire universe in oneself and own self everywhere. A sage of enlightenment sees with eye of wisdom the entire universe in oneself and own self everywhere. Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi. A yogi who has a complete wisdom. What does that mean, a complete wisdom? A clear, well assimilated, doubtless knowledge. That is Samyak Vijnanavan. Well assimilated, clear, doubtless. No vagueness at all in knowledge. Vaguelessness. There's no vagueness. A yogi who has done the sadhana chatushtaya well. We have to connect with all that. We have to connect with everything, then the verse will be clear. A yogi who has done the sadhana chatushtayam well, who has done the qualifications, has practiced those qualifications well. Now you should not be asking what is sadhana chatushtayam. You are supposed to know, Glenn. You are supposed to know all that. Even when it is said, you are supposed to remember those qualifications. A knowledge without any doubts. Doubts will disappear after assimilation. Till that time there will be doubts. Till that time there will be doubts. Doubts means what? What is a doubt? Sir, Vedanta is theoretically correct, sir, but practically, adan doubt. When we divide knowledge into two separate things, it is all right for theory, it is all right to talk, but cannot be practiced. It cannot be practically applied. Abdinna, we are having the doubt. That is the doubt. The doubt is one of knowing how to apply the knowledge. Another doubt is doubt regarding the information. Now here when he's talking about, he is not talking about the doubts that a student has regarding the information. He's talking about the doubts that is removed. What is the doubt that it is removed? Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi. A well, clear, assimilated person. Who's that? He has understood that it is applicable, it is practical, and he is practicing it. That person is a one who is well established in knowledge. He is not talking about an enlightened person here. If you take the verse as an enlightened person and interpret, one way of interpretation. Another way of interpretation is how we take the verse as a person who has done what he has to do in the spiritual journey and attained a level of growth. So first we interpret in that angle. What is the interpretation now? From the angle of the yogi. The yogi means one who is an advanced stage of spiritual growth. A practitioner, not the enlightened one. Doubtless. So from that angle we say, doubtless means he has no issue about the practicality of this knowledge. Number one. Number two, doubtless means he is not using this knowledge to manage the worldly affairs. He is not using this knowledge for managing the worldly affairs. When you gain this knowledge, you will be able to manage it by default. But your focus is not on that. Your attention is not on that. What is your attention? Your attention is on Brahma Satyam Jagat Mityam. Your focus has shifted to Brahma Satyam and Jagat Mityam. That is Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi. A person who doesn't have the knowledge is vague. When do you say knowledge is vague? You say knowledge is vague when looks like it is kind of understandable, but not clear. You know it, and yet you know something is missing. That is vague. You know that you know, and yet you know something is missing. That is vagueness. That is vague. That's where you say knowledge is vague. It's like dhuma. It's like smoke. You know, you can see things, and yet it is not. It's vague. It's not clear. Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi is one who has crossed these stages and well established in knowledge. A sage of enlightenment, a yogi, a sage of enlightenment. Doubt is that which brings about a question. You question, all the doubts gets clarified. A time comes where there is no doubt at all. A time comes where there is no question at all. இப்போ கூட கிளாஸ்ல நிறைய பேருக்கு அப்படிதான் இருக்கு. There is no, even now it is like that, where there is no question at all. Oh sir, the way that you so beautifully explain, and it's so clear, it's so simple, there is no scope for any question at all. Onar notes li every question varum. You can't have question from the notes. You can have question only from the textbook. And these classes are, how can you have a question in the guide? It's so clear, sir. It's so clear. Where is the doubt? As soon as the class is over, when we say we meet next week, what happens? Brahma Mityam Jagat Satyam. In the class, it is Brahma Satyam Jagat Mityam. After the class, it is Jagat Satyam and Brahma Mityam. Now the doubt. What we see outside the class is real, or what we hear in the class is real. For both are two opposites, and you cannot have a common middle point between the two. You cannot have a common middle point between the two. So doubtlessness. You question. A time comes where all doubts are cleared. When we say doubts are cleared, means there is no more questions. It means the person has well assimilated. Yogi can be enlightened person. Yogi can be an advanced student. Now, I'm interpreting it from the advanced student angle. Next, we will see it from the enlightenment stage. From the enlightenment stage, it is very easy to interpret. Any verse you take that stance, it is very easy to elaborate. It's very easy to explain. So, first stages, I'm explaining it from the angle of a seeker still. He's a seeker. Question arises when you have two contradictory things. Question arises only when there are two contradictory things. Then only you can question. If there is only one, you cannot. If there is only one, there is no question. Question arises only when there are two things, and the two has to be opposite to each other, contradictory to each other. So in order to question, first is you should be able to recognize the contradiction. If you don't recognize the contradiction also, there will not be a question. So in order to recognize the contradiction, first in order to question, you need to recognize the contradiction. Vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me tadekam vada nischitya yena shreyoham apnuyam. Arjuna said in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, beginning, he said, Vyamishreneva vakyena, don't keep talking like this, don't talk contradictory. Tadekam vada nischitya, tell me conclusively in one word. The question is, tell me conclusively in one. Don't talk about both. For both are, one is contradictory to the other. So questions arises when you recognize the contradictions. And we have seen this any number of times. Shastras are full of contradictions. In fact, the very language, the language of the Shastra itself is known as the language of contradiction. The very language of the Shastra is called the language of contradictions. Therefore, contradictions are deliberately planted so that a doubt will arise. And when the doubt arises, there will be a question. And the question will help you to assimilate the knowledge better. What is the doubt? One kind of doubt is, I don't understand what you are saying. One kind of doubt. Another kind of doubt is, I understand what you are saying, but doesn't look applicable, doesn't look practical. Yogi means one who has crossed the second doubt. Professor means one who has crossed the first doubt. A professor is one who has crossed the first doubt. I don't understand. Now I understand. Repeat. That is one kind of clearing the doubt. Another kind of doubt is, I understand, and yet it is not, I understand, but not practical. Therefore, the question here is, now the question is what? What is the doubt? How do I make it? How do I make it practical? How do I make the knowledge practical? Knowledge becomes practical when you have gone through, or when you go through the sadhana chatushtayam well. If you go through the sadhana chatushtaya practices well, you become a qualified student. So whenever knowledge is not practical, wherever you say knowledge is not helping or appealing, you must realize that sadhana chatushtayam is missing, and you must quickly go back to that. A yogi, samyak vijnanavan yogi. How did he become the samyak vijnanavan? What did he do that he got to that he got himself to that state? Whenever he finds knowledge is not applicable, practical, you need to quickly go back to sadhana chatushtayam and see somewhere in sadhana chatushtayam you are lacking. Then you become a samyak vijnanavan yogi. Otherwise, every time this question arises. So much of injustice in this world, sir. How does Vedanta help? How can be Vedanta practically applied? So much of injustice in the world. How can Vedanta be practically applied? And when you have a father who's 85, 90, have lost the memory and walking around in the house without the memory loss. How can Vedanta be applied here, sir? How can Vedanta be applied? How can Vedanta be applied? So, when you say how can Vedanta be applied, what are you implying? When you say how can Vedanta be practical in these situations, what are you implying? Vedanta is not practical. And when you are going through excruciating pain and suffering and all that, how can Vedanta be applied? Don't say I am not the body, Appallamma. You will start feeling the pain more. I tried, sir, you know what, after a surgery going through severe pain, I am trying to tell myself, I am not the body. And second minute, you find the pain is double. Because then you will come and say, it is not. Then you will come and say, it is not working, it is not practical. Few days back, I had to go for a small surgical procedure, few days back. So I went to the doctor. The doctor said, see, now in this current COVID scenario and all that, you know, one thing is, normally we do it in the surgery room only. Normally these kind of procedures are not done outside. We'll do it in the surgery room only. You know, but then now in this COVID time, why go through all that? And he's telling me, yeah, and then I have to put up a brave front also now. And anyway, you don't feel much pain also, no? I said, what nonsense. Of course I feel the pain. He said, no, we'll do the procedure in the consulting room itself. Why go through all that procedure and all that? I said, okay, do the procedure in the consulting room. So he went, brought one blade, brought one that pull the thing that they used to pull and all that. He said, since we are doing in the OPD room, anesthesia and all cannot be given a lot. I said, Aham Brahmasmi is not working. I am not the body is not working. I am screaming and saying, I am the body, I am the body. And then he said, okay, so we started doing. And also you have to, in the surgery room, you will not see the bleeding and all. You will not see your own toe, your own leg getting cut, the blood oozing out. And then the fellow trying to, and the lady is just, you know, like how we stop the plumbing leak, how the plumber deals with the plumbing leak. You see that dealing with the blood oozing like that. And you feel like, oh my God, these fellows are so. In this situation, how does I am not the body works? You cannot practice it there. If you have done your sadhana, chatushtaya, sampat and all that well. So I was in the middle of a call. I went into the surgery, finished the surgery, came out and continued the call, and some background noise. The person who is talking to, she thought I'm in the hospital for somebody's surgery. After that, yarku sir surgery, you know, the background noise and all this, and yarku surgery, I'm only going through that. I'm not saying this to impress. I'm saying on the table you cannot practice. When you have practiced, when everything is normal, in a crisis, doubt will not arise. Don't try to practice this knowledge in a crisis. fortify your Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi. Why I am saying all this is Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi. He has reached that stage because he practiced this knowledge, got established in the knowledge when things are more or less normal around that person. Now, when things are more or less normal, attention goes on. When things are more or less normal, attention always goes to. Where does attention go? More acquisition. When things are more or less normal, attention goes to more acquisition, more preservation, betterment of life. You don't call it as more acquisition. You don't call it as that, but then you have a word for that. What is the word that you have? The word that you have is growth, betterment. So when things are all right, you will aspire for betterment of life. In a crisis, you want to practice the knowledge. Doubtless means you don't do it in a crisis. That's why when people come in a crisis and say, what do we do, sir? What do we do, sir? I give an answer which they hate. After 2-3 times, they stop coming to me because they know your solution therilla. He himself doesn't know what the solution is. Because I keep saying, what can be done now? Nothing. It is difficult to practice. It is difficult to practice it now. Are you able to follow? Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi, who has practiced this when things are all right. The person who came with me, Ranjini, who came with me, she is crying and angry at the same time. Huh? Because the blood is, because the doctor said, wait outside for 15 minutes, wait, bleeding you will not bleed to death and all, just wait. So I was 15 minutes, I was waiting, and in that outside only, it is bleeding, and he's seeing the wound so raw and so much of things all over the place, and looking at all that, he's crying. On the other hand, I'm continuing the call. She said, is this your leg or somebody's leg? She asked, is this your leg or it is someone else's leg? I said, of course it is my leg only. Who's saying it is somebody else's leg? It is my leg only. But then you understand what? These things are bound to happen, and no use making a fuss about these things, and just continue to do what you ought to do. Continue to do what you ought to do. Nothing stops. He is a Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi. A very highly advanced stage in spiritual growth. Knowledge becomes, you will get doubts in the knowledge only when you try to practice this knowledge in a crisis. That's when you will start having doubts. When things are all right, try and practice this knowledge and gain strength. In a crisis, that strength will help. He's a Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi. Don't try to apply it when you are going through knowledge is meant for crisis only. No, adu vanda podu paathukalam, practice pannalam. When things are all right, what should I do? When things are all right, go back and do what you go back for further acquisition, more. You will not call it as more and more acquisition. You will call it as growth in life, betterment in life. We should grow in life, no, sir. Correct. Growth in life is not, please understand, growth in life is reduction of vasanas. Reduction of vasanas will automatically result in reduction of further acquisitions. Automatically it will reduce. You don't make an effort to reduce your acquisitions. When the vasanas reduces, further and further acquisitions will stop by itself. Everything stops by, everything happens, everything stops by itself. So, Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi, a person who sees it very clearly. And the seeing very clearly, Jnana Chakshu. He has given the example. With the eye of wisdom. And we have seen this Jnana Chakshu word any number of times. The eye of wisdom. What is the eye of wisdom? What is the eye of wisdom? At some point of time, when the pain becomes too much, it turns numb by itself. It's a self-defense mechanism. It will turn numb. You will not feel pain after that. But still you will mentally feel pain. That is because of your... So, the last 5 days, the last 4 days, 5 days, everybody is asking, is there a pain? Is there a pain? Is there a pain? I have to say, it is reducing, it is reducing, it is reducing. There is no pain at all because it has just turned numb and it is healing. Now, all that you need to do is what? Develop a little bit of detachment and allow the body to heal. Just develop a little bit of detachment. That's all you need. It's not like Ramana Maharshi, no, where he has to go, going through the cancer surgery. It's not all that. Just a small minor thing. What it implies is a crisis will happen, and in a crisis, you should be able to detach yourself. As far as the body is concerned, the body getting cut is crisis for the body, and body has a natural built-in mechanism to deal with it, to handle that. All that you need to do is what? Don't make a low level language. Don't make a fuss. Don't make a fuss. It will be all right. It will take care of itself. It will take care of itself. All that you need is a little bit of detachment. And that establishment and knowledge means the intensity of detachment is increasing. You get more and more detached. That detachment is called, with the detachment, you see the world. When you see the world with the detachment, you see it very differently. Now you see the world with the ordinary eyes of attachment. Now how do you see the world? You see the world with these two eyes. You see the world today with these eyes of, attachment. There is no detachment that is happening. There is no detachment. And what is detachment? What is detachment? Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mitra. This is known as the Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi. When these qualifications are taken care of, when the sadhana chatushtayam and all that is taken care of, jnanam will bring a transformation. If jnanam is not bringing in a transformation, go back to. If jnanam is not bringing in a transformation, go back to sadhana. Go back to sadhana. Sadhana chatushtayam. Go back to sadhana chatushtayam. What does the Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi does? The Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi, Swatmani Akilam Jagat Pashyati. Swatmani Akilam Jagat Pashyati. What does that mean? The entire universe he sees. How does he see the entire universe? Chidananda Atmani Jagat Ikshate. I mean, just reading the verse in a prose form. When we chant it in a poetry way. When we read the same verse in a prose form, it will get rearranged. That's a very Sanskrit language itself. It gets rearranged. So what is this Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi does? The Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi, Swatmani Akilam Jagat Pashyati. How does he see it? Chidananda Atmani Jagat Ikshate. Meaning, the entire universe in one's self and the one self everywhere. The entire universe in one's self and the one self everywhere. He sees, and you find all the Shastras using seeing as seeing. They keep using the word sees. Even if you have to ask, do you understand? You always ask, do you see what I am saying? For seeing is equated to, even in the normal parlance, when we talk, you say something and you want to make sure whether the other has understood or not. What do you ask? You say, did you see, are you able to see what I am saying? Seeing is a very, very intimate experience. Seeing is a very intimate experience. That intimate experience that brings a clarity. That brings a clarity, and that clarity without doubts, without vaguelessness. Without doubts, vaguelessness. That is called Jnana Chakshu, the eye of wisdom. Okay. Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi has Jnana Chakshu. What is with that, what happens? This is the real part of the verse. The real part of the verse is this. What is it? Ekam cha sarvam atmanam. He sees the entire universe in one's self and the one self everywhere. That is it. Meaning what? First, Brahman enlivens everything. Everything is made up of Jagat is matter, and matter is enlivened by spirit. So first thing that is established is there is a spirit that is enlivened by matter. Now comes the second thing. What is the second thing? What is that spirit? It is that spirit that supports everything, including you. The Brahman that supports everything, including you. Therefore, you need not support anybody. Somebody need not support you. For there is a higher supporter already. Growth in understanding. Are you able to see the growth in understanding? Otherwise, you say, I have to support. Or you say, I need to support somebody, or somebody has to support me. Vedanta comes and says, you need not support somebody, somebody need not support you. All are supported by the higher, the Brahman. And then comes a quantum leap, a quantum jump. In the jump, then difficult. Up to this, we will be comfortable. Then comes the quantum jump in knowledge. What is that quantum jump in knowledge? And then when it goes to the third stage and says, you are that spirit, you are that self. Angada we say, it looked very logical, appealing, perfect. But this is not something that is, this is something that doesn't make any sense at all. Doubt comes. Doubt comes. What is eye of wisdom? Eye of wisdom can be understood very simply if you remember the quote of Hanuman. Eye of wisdom can be understood if you remember the quote of Hanuman very well. What is the quote of Hanuman? Deha bhavena dasosmi jiva bhavena tvadamshakaha atma bhavena tvamevaham. What is Jnana Chakshu? This is Jnana Chakshu. It's there in the book Vedanta Treatise, part C. This quote is there. Don't worry about it. It's there in the book Vedanta Treatise, part C. Jiva bhavena, Rama told Hanuman, see, everybody is asking, what is your relationship with me? Including Sita, everybody is so confused about what is your relationship with me. Explain what is your relationship with me to others. So this is Rama's command to Hanuman. Rama's command to Hanuman is explain your association with me. Hanuman said, Rama, it is so straightforward. No, where is the doubt? Why is people having this doubt? Deha bhavena dasosmi. Asmi dasaha. Asmi dasaha means I am a dasa at the level of the deha bhava. So you can have a deha bhava, you can have a jiva bhava, you can have a atma bhava. Deha bhavena dasosmi, jiva bhavena tadamshakaha, atma bhavena tvamevaham. If the moon purunja, you will understand what is Jnana Chakshu. So from now on, what you should remember? Jnana Chakshuna, remember? See, mentally, I have these references. Mentally, I have these references. That's why to make it simpler. Otherwise, once you have it in a crux form like this, yeah. Concentrate wine on that. How much ever water we can pour and we can dilute it? No. Yeah. Concentrate is the Upanishad. Dilution is the Konar notes. Yeah. Concentrate is the knowledge. So you take that and you can go on and on and on diluting it. How much ever you want, you can dilute it. But then you should be very clear in knowing the concentrate. In this classroom, we all should aim to get to that level where the concentrate is very, very clear. What is Jnana Chakshu? Deha bhavena dasosmi. At the level of the Sharira Rama, you are the Lord and I am your Dasa. Shraddha Madri and the Dasa and word translate pandrathu, it's a bit difficult. Like Shraddha is very difficult to translate in English. Even the word Dasa is also difficult to translate in English. So, and if you see, people call it as slave, servant. Dasa, Dasi, all means the same. Huh? Dasi is translated as prostitute. Dasa is translated as slave, servant. I am your servant. What is Dasa? Dasa is not a servant. Dasa is one who is ready to serve. He has dedicated his body and act. Body means actions. Who is the Dasa? A Dasa is one who has dedicated his actions to the service of Rama. Other than the service of Rama, there will not be any other action. This is called Dasa. And people add the name Dasa to their names, you know. Like Ananda, they add Mari. Dasa also they add. Haridas. Yeah. Esudas. Yeah. Dasa. 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 Dasa means Purandara Das. There are so many Dasas. Masculine na Dasa, feminine na Dasi, and such a poor, corrupt word of calling the word Dasi as a prostitute. They are not that. Deha bhavena dasosmi. As long as the body is there, there will be actions, and all these actions will be dedicated only to the service of Rama. Service of Rama, abdina Loka Sangraha, you have to understand it. Service of Rama, Rama doesn't need any service. What service he needs? He is happy by? Yeah, Rama nale adana artham. Yeah, Rama nale he is Ramati iti. One who is happy by himself is Rama. If one who is happy by himself, na seri konja slight abde andalo avaru is happy by himself. Rama nale Ramati. One who is happy because of his self-sufficiency. Father says, you will be crowned as the king. He is happy. Next day, you are banished for 14 years. And how you should go to the forest? You can't take 200 servants. Kaikeyi, Rama, Dasharatha said, okay, let Rama will go to the forest. And then he called the people and said, one set of people go before and clear the forest, build a house, and then 200 servants will go. This is Dasharatha's order. I don't know whether you have studied Valmiki Ramayana. In that it comes. Kaikeyi says, wait. What are you doing? Rama is not going on a picnic. New Year vacation ka porar or New Year Eve celebrate pandradhukku pola. He's going to the forest for 14 years. 7 varsham oral illanale he is deemed to be dead. 14 years now, for 3 Janmas Rama is dead. So send him to forest like that. Not like a picnic. And when he left, that is Rama. The same cheer that he had when he has to take the crown is the same cheer that he had when he is banished to the forest for 14 years. So Rama is self-sufficient by himself. So what does Dasa means? Deha bhavena dasosmi. As long as body is there, there will be actions. And all those actions are dedicated towards only one purpose. What is that purpose? Welfare. Correct, sir? We are also doing that. But that welfare circle is, the circle of welfare is so pathetic. Yeah. That circle of welfare. What is that circle of welfare? Me, Avladhan, me, avladhan, it stops there. Joint family, sir. Abdiya, wife and children living together, adik peru dhaan joint family. You know that, no? The current definition, the 2020 definition of joint family is, if I live with my wife and children, father and mother-in-law went out of radar long back. Cousins, uncles, Allah, they don't exist at all. Okay. What is welfare? At the level of the actions, it is only for the welfare of the others. Loka sangraha. Shishya says there is no Loka sangraha separately, for the Guru is tirelessly working for Loka sangraha. So I serve the Guru who is working for the Loka sangraha. That is Shishya. Since we are not yet Sishyas, we all have to work for Loka sangraha directly. Because to be a Sishya is extremely difficult. For who is a Sishya? A Sishya is one who can take the command and not have any doubt about that command. A command is given and he doesn't have any doubt whatsoever about that command. He simply, remember that poem? Tell me, Father, what should be done. Tell me, Father, what should be done. The boy in the burning deck. The father told the boy, wait. He went. The ship caught fire and the boy is standing there asking, tell me, Father, what I should do. And the poor boy didn't know. The father is dead already. And the fire engulfed him also. But that boy didn't. But the boy didn't move. That is a Sishya. A command is given. Thinking is how to implement it. Thinking is not about why he said it. Thinking is about how to implement it. That is the command. Yeah. That is why in this classroom, we don't make commands, we only make requests. Forward pannungo. Forward pandrella illaya theriyala. Illaya forward pannungo. If you don't, if you have forgotten to forward, please forward. Illaya. Sishyas kitta pesra language vera. Yeah. Sishyas kitta pesra language vera. Class la announce pannidrela, when they say class la announce lam panna mudiyadhu, request dhaan panna mudiyum. Because to the Sishya only you can give a command. To the rest you can only make a, that's why it's called an appeal. It's called a request. To a Sishya, there is no appeal, there is no request. To a Sishya, it is a command. For Hanuman, at the level of the action, it is always a command. What is the command? Deha bhavena dasosmi. Dasa doesn't mean a servant. Dasa doesn't mean that. Dasa means one who has dedicated his actions for service. Only is very important. 39,999. Only. Yeah, the madri. Dedicated for actions, dedicated for service only. Deha bhavena dasosmi. Second, jiva bhavena tadamshakaha. At the level of the jiva, amsha. Amsha means part. At the level of the jiva, I understand that I am a part of you. Twadamshakaha. Atma bhavena aham tvameva. Tvamevaham. Tvamevaham means, tvam means you. Aham means Aham means I. Aham means I. Tvam means you. Eva means only. I am you. Only. It means you are me and I am you. This is called Jnana Chakshu. Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi has this vision. This is the very high state of spiritual. This is the very high state of spiritual evolution that get into. Now, if you read the verse, it becomes very clear. Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi Swatmanye Vakilam Jagat Ekam Cha Sarvam Atmanam Ikshate Jnana Chakshusha. With the eye of wisdom, a Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi who has this eye of wisdom sees everything. How do they see? The entire universe in oneself and the oneself everywhere. Everything is in me, I am in everything. What is he saying? Everything is in me. Oh, everything is in me, yeah, right. No. The other way is also there. Everything is in me, I am in everything. It means what? Only one thing is there. What? The I. Only the pure I is there everywhere. Once he has that experience of that pure I, he is enlightened. So he says an enlightened sage. So I said how you can practice, what you can practice and come to the level of that enlightened stage. This is verse number 47. Verse number 48, buddy. We move on to verse number 48.
Atmaivedam jagasarvam Atmanonyanna vidyate Mrido yadvadghatadini Swatmanam sarvamikshate. Atmaivedam jagasarvam Atmanonyanna vidyate Mrido yadvadghatadini Swatmanam sarvamikshate.
This entire universe is Atman alone. There exists nothing other than Atman, just as pots, etc. are clay. The enlightened sees everything as one's self. This entire universe is Atman alone. There exists nothing other than Atman, just as pots, etc. are clay. The enlightened sees everything as oneself. Now what Shankaracharya is doing is, he's just extracting the Upanishadic essence. Clear? He is pulling. Maitreyi Brahmana in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Maitreyi Brahmanam in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad gives this example. There exists nothing other than Atman, just as pots, etc. are clay. This entire universe is Atman alone. This entire universe is Atman alone. Meaning what? How do you explain? What you see is the Nama Rupa and the original is distinct and different from the Nama Rupa. You have to go through the formula again and again. Objects and beings means they have nama, rupa, guna, karma. We have seen this. Objects and being means they have a name, they have a form, they have a property, and they do one action. Nama, rupa, guna, karma. These are the four things. Nama, rupa, guna, karma. And this nama, rupa, guna, karma is nothing but a temporary superimposed form on the original. This nama, rupa, guna, karma is nothing but a temporary superimposed form on the original. How do you do that? How do you understand that? That is where the example is so beautiful. Just as pots, etc. are clay. The clay is the original. From the original clay, there can be a temporary pot. A pot that comes out of the clay. The pot that has come out of the clay is temporary. How do we say it is temporary? It has a period of existence. It has a period of existence and it gets destroyed. And when it gets destroyed, it doesn't become zero. It goes back to, when it gets destroyed, it doesn't become vacuum. It doesn't become empty. It is not nothingness. It goes back to the clay. So it comes out of clay, exists as clay, and goes back as clay. It means the clay is there, modified clay, and original. So original clay, modified clay, clay. So whether it is original or modified, right through, what is that? Only the clay. A person who is ajnani, a person who is ignorant, sees the nama, rupa, guna, karma as an independent entity. An ignorant person sees the nama, rupa, guna, karma as an independent entity, and they are carried away by that. And they are carried away by that independent entity because they assume that there is an individuality to that, not realizing that it has come out of the perceived individuality is, if only you can understand, the individuality that you see is perceived and it is temporary. You have jnana chakshu. You have jnana chakshu. Gatasuna gatashuscha nanushocanti panditaha. Ashochanan vashochastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase. Gatasuna gatashuscha nanushocanti panditaha. Enda Upanishad idu? Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, sir. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 11, this is. Bhagavad Gita, verse 2, chapter 2, verse 11. Ashochanan vashochastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase. Gatasuna gatasuscha nanushocanti panditaha. The panditaha is the wise one who has this jnana chakshu. And what is the jnana chakshu? They see. What do they see? The nama, rupa, guna, karma is a temporary superimposition on the original, and it will continue to exist as long as you see it. It ceases to exist the moment you stop It ceases to exist the moment you stop seeing it. Yeah. Even relatively speaking, the other exists only when you call them as mine. For the other to exist for you, you have to call them as mine. You can call them as my friend or you can call them as my enemy. So it doesn't matter, friend or enmity doesn't matter, but you have to say mine. So the existence itself comes only when you claim a mineness. Per se, that existence doesn't make any difference to you. Per se, the existence doesn't make any difference to you. You claim mineness. Now, when you claim mineness, what makes you to claim mineness? You claim mineness because you claim mineness. Why do you claim mineness? That particular nama, rupa, guna, karma you are attracted by. You will not be attracted by all nama, rupa, guna, karma. A particular nama, rupa, guna, karma you are attracted by and you call that as mine. It comes into existence. So these are the days of reunions, no? You have to have reunion after reunion after reunion. Yeah. And we are also having a reunion. School, yeah. The friend said, hey, Vandruda, correcta? No? Now they know the technique to call me. Yeah, they have found the technique to call me. The only technique to call me is, வந்து ஒரு மணி நேரம் லெக்சர் கொடுக்கறதுக்கு அலோ பண்ணா I will come. Otherwise I am not going to come. So they said, first you come, first you will talk about Vedanta to us for 1 hour and then we'll have lunch and then we'll continue to be hang around and all. I said, oh, Abdina, I will, and lunch muchuna I will escape. No. I told them, there are about 60 of us in the classroom, 65 of us in the classroom. 65 less 60, I forgot. I don't even know. Anybody who walks in and says, I am of this batch, and I assume that they are of that batch because I really didn't know whether they. So I told the other friends, hey, avangalla namma class dana enakku nyabam illa. Why will I even? What is it? There is no mindness there. But these 4-5, my friend, adanal these 4-5 continues to. These 4-5 continue to exist and the rest of the 60 just simply vanished from the memory. Then they said, shall we call the teachers also? Teachers also. And the first thing that you want to forget in life is the first person that you want to forget in life is the teacher. How do we remember? But then 2 teachers I remember because there is that particular nama, rupa, guna, karma I am impressed by, I was attracted by, so they exist. Rest do not. Rest doesn't exist. Are you able to follow? So for something to come into existence for you, there has to be a connect. What is that connect? Compatibility, sir. Connect. That particular nama, rupa, guna, karma should be of attraction to you. When it is attracting you, you will call it as mine. After a while, you will get bored with it, leave it, and go to the next. The one who has his jnana chakshu, what he says? The one who has his jnana chakshu says, what? All this is pervaded by all this nama, rupa, guna, karma is nothing but a pot. These are pots enveloped by the pots appear. So this is clay temporarily appearing as pots. This is the clay temporarily appearing as pot. The whole clue here is, the whole crux here is, only when you understand that you are a pot, then only you can see everything as pots. So the whole crux here is not to understand the rest as the pots. It starts with saying this nama, rupa, guna, karma itself is a temporary superimposition upon the reality. Beautiful example. I'm not going into the pot and clay so much because recently, a few verses back only, we did this analysis of clay and pot in detail. That's why I'm not getting into that angle of explanation. We have seen that. So I'm discussing it from another perspective. What is it? This entire universe is Atman alone. Atmai Vedam Jagat Sarvam. Full stop. Tangor full stop. There is a full stop there. It's a Mahavakya. This entire universe is Atman alone. Great statement. There's no explanation and all in this, just a statement. The statement is lifted from the Upanishad. Atmai Vedam Jagat Sarvam is what you find in the Maitreyi Brahmana. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Maitreyi Brahmana portion, this exact wordings he has just lifted it from there. Atmai Vedam Jagat Sarvam Atmanonyanna Vidyate. Vidyate means he knows. Vidyate means knows. What does he know? Existing. That existence is known. What is the existence that is known? All the pots are nothing but the clay. The second important factor in this verse is the nama, rupa, guna, karma, only the pot can be seen, the clay is understood. The pot is seen, the clay is understood. You don't see the clay. You see the pot. You see the pot and understand the clay. You see the pot and you understand that it is the clay. The deluded see the pluralistic world. Now the philosophy. Deluded see the pluralistic world. The wise one sees Brahman alone. What is delusion? Assuming that pot has an individual, assuming that the pot has an independent existence. See, what is so difficult to comprehend in all these is, that's why they have brought in such a simple example. This concrete physical world that you see, which is just made up of various kinds of objects and beings with various types of nama, rupa, guna, karma. The variety that you see itself is mind-boggling, staggering. More staggering, more mind-boggling is all this variety is one. The homogeneity in the infinite variety is beyond comprehension, as it were. How to explain this? The Maitreyi Brahmana brings a beautiful example. Clay and pot. See, what is the mind-boggling thing that they are trying to convey? You see the world, this world is a solid existence with variety of the heterogeneity is staggering. Yeah. Snakes nedthundale 3000 varieties of snakes. Mosquitoes nedthunda 250s of mosquitoes discovered. Discovered. Undiscovered, we really don't know how much is there. Yeah. See, ocean, we have discovered up to 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers depth only we have gone. Ocean goes to, you know how deep ocean goes? 11.5, 12 kilometers depth, the ocean. I don't know whether you know it or not. The tallest mountain ranges in the world is submerged in the ocean. Visibly, we see Mount Everest, which is last year grow. Yeah. Not last year, last month. They gave a different calculation. Even Mount Everest is, even that is a small hill compared to the peaks that is submerged inside the ocean. So even the known variety is, even the known heterogeneity is mind-boggling, and the unknown heterogeneity is so man, that itself is ascharya, wonderment. Much more wonderment is what? All this heterogeneity has all this heterogeneity is nothing but this heterogeneity is one homogeneous principle. Inga varumbodha, it looks like it's something that is even to theoretically digest and accept is very, very difficult. That, how to convey this? The Upanishads comes up with a beautiful example. What is the beautiful example? Out of clay comes various pots, various sizes, various shapes, various guna karma, various things it comes, but in and through all that one homogeneous clay is what expresses itself as this heterogeneous variety of pots, and all goes back into the clay. How the homo turns into hetero. Another mind-boggling example, Mandukya Upanishad comes, which is more mind-boggling than the pot and clay is a very good extraordinary way. Mandukya Upanishad comes with another mind-boggling thing. Just as one mind splits itself into the infinite aspects of the dream, just as the one mind splits itself into each and every thing in the dream is nothing but the one mind. Yeah. Are you able to follow? It is that one mind that has split itself into, as it were, split into the infinite thing. It from one arises the infinite, and from that it falls back. From one, it opens up, and in that one, it falls back. The wise one sees that. The wise one sees that. Atmaivedam jagat sarvam atmanonyanna vidyate mridaha yadvat. Mrida means clay. Mridaha means clay. Mrido yadvat gatadini swatmanam sarvam ikshate. Ikshate we found in the previous verse also. The same word ikshate comes in this verse. Sees, sees, sees. And seeing is, the rishis are also called seers. The seers, they are called seers. Sees. What do they see? They see something which we don't see. They see what we see. And they also see what we are not able to see. As a seer. They see what we see, and they also see that which we are not able to see. Don't think that they are seeing different, we are seeing different. They see what we see. Namma paakarada avangalum paapanga. Red color, he will also see red color only. When we see black, he will also see black color only. When we eat ice cream, when we taste the ice cream as cold, he will also taste the ice cream as cold only. They see what we see, and they see what we are not able to see. And Vedantic knowledge bridges that gap. What they see and what we are not able to see, we can see with the aid of this Atma Bodha. Atma Bodha means knowledge. Knowledge means Vedantic knowledge. In this context, we are using the word Atma Bodha because Atma Bodha padikrom. Naaliki ide maari oru verse vanda we'll say Bhagavad Gita. Meaning it is not the text, it is the knowledge. The waker says everything in the dream is me. The father came, the mother came, the bus came, the stars came, the moon came, everything came in the dream. Waker says, everything that happened in the dream is me, which the dreamer cannot understand. Which the dreamer cannot understand. Therefore, Atmaivedam Jagat Sarvam Atmanonyanna Vidyate Swatmanam Sarvamikshate like Mrido Yadvat Gatadini. Mrida Gata. Rajju Sarpa, rope snake. Madri Mrido Gata. Idalla pera we have to remember. That's all. Rajju Sarpana, rope and snake. Mrido Gatana, cotton clay. You don't have to remember the Sanskrit terms. Don't worry about it. So, Sanskrit class, sir, you have to go for now. We have to go for Sanskrit class now. அதுவும் நீங்களே எடுத்துறீங்களா சார்? ஈவன் நீங்களே சன்ஸ்கிரிட் கிளாஸும் எடுத்துறீங்களா? எனக்கு ப்ரொனன்சியேஷனே வரமாட்டேன்றது வளரன்னு இருக்கிறேன். ஹவு கேன் ஐ டேக் த சன்ஸ்கிரிட்? How can I do the Sanskrit class? You need not remember the concept. Mrido yadvat gatadini swatmanam sarvamikshate atmaivedam jagat sarvam atmanonyanna vidyate. He understands what? First he is wonderstruck at the Ascharya. The first Ascharya is, the variety is Ascharya. The heterogeneous variety is Ascharya. And all the heterogeneous variety are connected by something. The invisible thread that keeps the bead together. That is the example he gives in the Bhagavad Gita. The invisible thread that keeps the bead. The beads are held together by the invisible thread. Jnana Chakshusha means you see the beads and you understand all this is held by the invisible thread. From outside, it looks like the beads are holding by themselves, but the person of Jnana Chakshu understand the beads are held by the invisible thread. The garland, the invisible thread that holds the beads together. So the variety of beads itself is staggering, number one. Ascharya, number one. Ascharya, number two is how the heterogeneous thing is held by that one homogeneous entity, and that homogeneous entity has to be subtler. Necessarily it has to be subtler, necessarily it can't be visible, necessarily it can't be perceivable, nor you can feel it, nor you can intellectually conceive of it. Then what can you, then what to do? By following the path, by following the discipline suggested, and doing the Shravana, Manana, and all that properly. Venkat போடுற forwards எல்லாம் ஒழுங்கா forward எல்லாம் பண்ணினே வந்தேன்னாக்கா இதெல்லாம் threatening. Don't take all this seriously. Do the Shravana, Manana and the yogas properly. When you do all these, you will develop the jnana, to develop the jnana chakshu. Develop the jnana chakshu. Atmanam ikshate. The pluralistic existence, they seem to have a pluralistic existence of their own, but they are in essence Brahman and Brahman alone. They seems to have a pluralistic individual existence of their own, but in essence they are Brahman and Brahman alone. Seriya? With this, we conclude verse number 48 and we continue from verse number 49 onwards in the next session.
One clarification.
Oh, there is one clarification. What is the clarification? Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi, a sannyasi. Yes, Narayanji, you can equate a Samyak Vijnanavan Yogi to a sannyasi. You are correct. It can be equated to a sannyasi.
Okay.
Sannyasi as in what we study in the Gita, yogi and sannyasi, that gradations.
Correct.
Yes. You can equate him to a sannyasi. Correct.